Another set of important issues are the seller's reps and warranties. And those kinds of things are all over the board in commercial transactions. From the buyer's point of view, at a minimum, I would think that a seller should be willing and buyers should request representations from the seller on things that a buyer can't normally find out about itself. If sellers receive violation notices from the municipality because of the condition of the building or because of the location of certain improvements, that wouldn't necessarily show up on a title work that only deals with recorded documents. Is the seller aware of any proposed condemnation or taking? If a governmental entity like a road commission has filed a taking action in court, that's something a buyer could find out about. But if he's received a letter from the road commission offering a price prior to any kind of litigation being initiated, that wouldn't be part of the public record. And there would be no way that the buyer could find out about something like that. You also generally want the seller to represent that they themselves have not released any hazardous waste on the property, because that might have implications from a liability perspective to the buyer. And finally, another important set of terms deal with conditions to closing. And some of them are fairly simple. If a buyer needs mortgage financing, then there's going to be a financing contingency. There will be a period of time where the buyer can do its best to obtain financing. And if he's unsuccessful, then he's able to walk away from the deal and retain his deposit. We want to make sure sometimes that the property is in the same condition at closing as when the purchase agreement has been signed. Make sure that the seller hasn't let the property run down over that period of time, particularly if you've got a really long due diligence period. And that if, for instance, there haven't been any legal proceedings that have been initiated affecting the property, like condemnation, or for instance, that there hasn't been a termination of an underlying lease, if that income stream is important to the buyer.